So the cat's out of the bag. You know that the Mario sports games produced for Game Boy Color aren't just simplified editions of the console versions, they are actually these miniature sports-themed RPGs, all set in an academy setting and featuring rivals and allied characters. More people might know and expect the more standard Mario sports games that showed up on home console releases, like on the Nintendo 64. Good, solid multiplayer with some decent enough single-player modes.
Game, second match.
So you probably want to do something crazy like, oh, I don't know, play one of them. Take Mario Tennis, for instance. You can obviously play quick matches of tennis with characters from the Super Mario universe, and a variety of other minigames and challenges, again, featuring Mario characters. These modes are good, by the way, and I'll get around to them more later. For now, let's focus on Game Boy Color and talk about Mario Tour. In Mario Tour, you don't play as Mario, by the way, or any Mario Universe character. You play as either a male or female human character and play against other Academy characters. You don't even really get to face Mario characters till much later in the campaign. Now when I say tennis RPG set in an academy, don't go expecting a super in-depth character-driven story. It's a fairly basic narrative. The boy is by default named Alex, and Alex wants to be the best at the Royal Academy and compete at tennis. Kinda simple stuff, and that's totally fine by me. So, what does he do? Teams up with his weirdly buff partner Harry in doubles, or strikes it solo in singles and dominates the tennis courts. Beating opponent after opponent, ranking higher and higher until you're ultimately ready for the big league tournament, the Island Open. And rising the ranks is no easy cakewalk either. It's a lot of tennis. Match after match, game after game, set after set, it's straight to the point tennis. Sure, there's some stars to telegraph big hits and some gameplay mechanics like pressing A and or B to hit differently, but otherwise, it's just same old tennis. Like the very first video game, Tennis for Two, just with some nice Camelot-developed 8-bit window dressing. And a cafe. Despite really only having the control scheme of the Nintendo Entertainment System, the Game Boy and Game Boy Color still managed to pack in mechanical creativity too. And it works pretty good for the Nintendo 64 controller button layout as well. It's fun using different styles of tennis to throw off computer opponents, outwitting them with timing and angles. In the early bits of the game, your opponents do have sprinklings of personality, either maybe with expressive sprites or a big personality trait that you gather from the minimal dialogue. Naturally, as you go from junior classes to senior, the opponents get tougher, and you gotta be more knowledgeable of how the gameplay system works to actually win. Having a partner AI in the doubles mode is really great. It helps bridge new players in with extra support to help build confidence in movement and timing. Otherwise though, it's up to you, the player, to move your character to where the ball is and whack it back, however you go about doing it. Since Mario Tennis, Mario sports games have had some kind of input gimmick to spice up the game itself, like super moves or more recently, the energy bar from Aces. This one though, just straight up tennis. And I know I've been saying that a lot already, but emphasis is key here. Hit the ball back and forth, try to get the points to win. It's really that simple, and it's really that fun. Press the A button, or press the B button. Hell, if you want, you can press both too. Ooh. The more you press and hold one of the two inputs, the stronger your stroke will be. Each input command will yield different results when you hit the ball. I think I've said this like 3 times in this video now. Why am I anyway, you get the listen, it's a simple game. I shouldn't really be calling tennis too simple. It's really not. There's actually a lot of technique that's required from the player if they want to advance far in the tournament mode. There's no story mode on Nintendo 64, but there is single player. It's just an even more bare bones tournament mode to complete, with updating trophies to bash Wario's head with. No, seriously, he actually does that. There's a few other modes too. A few of them are in the Game Boy Color version too, like these modes where you whack the ball back towards these rings and try and collect points, that kind of thing. It's great seeing Mario characters so animated but still in such blocky polygonal models. It makes the great camera system even better. There's the Piranha Plant Challenge mode, multiple variations on the ring challenges, Bowser's stage, which is really way too fun with the Mario Kart 64-esque item system. Really, the N64 version is great because of its awesome multiplayer. 2-player or 4-player, this game is just entertaining, and if you're a fan of tennis and you've got multiple people who like playing some tennis or maybe some Pong fans in the house, you have a really good time. It's a pretty entertaining video game. So ultimately, like I said, if you're a tennis fan and a Mario fan, and maybe you're just not feeling Mario Tennis Aces or a newer release, I definitely recommend going back to where the series started. You're in for a good time. Again, a simple but good time.